Hendrix here. Welcome to Dating App Do-Overs. I've been a matchmaker for over a decade, working with some of the most eligible people in the world. Usually you're on the dating apps because you want to meet the very best people, right? But people are showing up on the dating apps with their worst photos. You guys send me your profiles, and if I feel like I can help you, I'll choose somebody each and every week. I'm going to be doing a new profile. I'm going to go in. You're going to see the before. You're going to see the after. You're going to see why I chose what I chose. I'm even going to sprinkle in some dating advice because everybody needs it. It's going to be a lot of fun, and God knows you never know what I'm going to say. But what are we waiting for? Let's get started. Welcome to Dating App Do-Overs. Hey, Tania, how are you?
Hello.
Good to see you.
I'm doing great.
That's great.
Good to see you too. It's been so long.
You are a makeup artist and a single mom. Fair to say?
Yes.
Fair to say.
Yeah.
And I think, so you are on several different dating apps, right? Are you on all of them, or what are you on?
I'm on Match, Bumble, and Tinder. Of course, each girlfriend says, oh, you have to go on this one or this one. And so I seem to be on 3.
Okay. So, and you sent me the profiles and I took a quick look through, and then I'm going to do a deeper dive after this. But because obviously, I talk to diverse people. There's some people who, need a lot of help, and there's some people who need makeovers, and there's some, but you're a beautiful lady. So I think my challenge is going to be, how can I help her? So first I want to know, what would you say is what do you run into on the dating apps that's a stumbling block?
I think quality of men.
Right. I know. I mean, that's the thing, it's like with the dating apps, although I am a proponent, and this is why I do what I do, right? And I have my new book, The Great Manhunt, just for the ladies, for the dating apps. But because I do believe there are great guys on the dating apps, but it's like, how do you stand out from the crowd? Because it's like the super highway of dating, you know what I mean? And also, so it's a combo. It's how do you stand out from the crowd? How do they stand out from the crowd so that they're a great guy, right? Because it's a little overwhelming. And then how do you stand out so that you're unique enough that it captures your essence so quickly before he moves on to somebody else? You know what I mean? Like, define quality for me.
It's very difficult when you're on these apps and you see a guy and all you see is him on his Harley, and he's, I think they need to also take a look at the pictures in their own profiles.
I'm trying to help everybody, Tania. I'm trying.
I know.
Do you think, could you possibly be overlooking some good guys?
I'm sure, but when you're looking at men that are just like,
No, I know the majority are like
casual, super casual looks, and whether they're fishing and all you see is really a big fish, or they're Harleys, or
no, I know.
I'm sure they're great guys in there, but it's kind of hard to really, when you're looking at an app and just a couple of pictures, it's kind of hard to make a decision. Well, is this guy, I don't know. It's hard.
And what's your issue with Bumble? Same thing?
I think it's the same, it's, yeah.
Don't you feel like, now I haven't been on Match in years, but have you tried Hinge? Are you on Hinge as well?
No, I don't know that one.
Oh, you don't? You might like Hinge. And where, so are you still out like Valencia area-ish?
I'm in Thousand Oaks.
And then what's your parameters that you set it at?
I would say like, 40 miles, I would say.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah.
And then age range for guys?
I would say like 53-ish to, 61-ish, I guess.
That's great too.
Yeah.
And so what, do you like businessmen? Do you like guys that are more blue collar, white collar? What do you like?
I think I like businessmen. I like nerdy, but I also like outdoors. I like somebody that's fit.
Right. Okay.
Take care of themselves, things like that.
Okay. this is all good intel for me, because when I look at your pictures, I'm going to take that all into account.
Okay.
So when we come back, I'm going to figure out which dating app profile. We may look at one, but then I may end up making over another. I don't know. Because I really like to take in and personalize. You know, I don't like to do anything cookie cutter. But for now, we're going to come back. We're going to look at what you got going on now. We'll talk about, you know, just what I think out of the gate, and then we'll get started. Okay.
I appreciate it.
Okay,
Thanks.
cool. So hang on, and we'll be right back, and then we'll take a look at your profile and see what you got going on. Okay, and we're back. Tanya, are you ready to have a peek at your current dating profile?
Yes, I am.
Okay. This is where the fun starts. Okay, so I decided that I wanted to look through your Match.com profile, because this is sort of where you have more photos. And I think sometimes, and I'm going to be looking through as we talk. Sometimes I think, I always say less is more.
Yeah.
I mean, the good news is that in a lot of these photos, you look like yourself. So that's awesome. You know what I mean? Like that is the goal. You want to be the
Yeah.
best version of yourself. And so you have a lot to choose from. You put that, you know, beach volley, or you're into the Hawaii and the beach. And then, you know, I always say you don't need sunglasses. Like those don't really do anything. Really, at the end of the day, you have to ask yourself, is this photo doing anything for me? Is it adding value? You know what I mean? Because the thing is, you don't, in a way, like you have so many photos here that it's like, I think we can pare back. I think we can pare it back and make it you and your daughter, beautiful shot of you and your daughter. So there's some I'll definitely keep in. And some I'll take out. I'm not sure if I want to have your daughter in there. Not sure.
I mean, we can.
Right. Yeah. I'm gonna think about it. But the good news is you have a lot to work with here. Okay. You know, there's people who have there's everybody presents a different challenge, right? It's like some people have nothing to choose from, or it's like a horror show. Whereas in your case, you sort of have a quality problem. That's, you know, you have too many photos, really good photos. Which ones do we choose? Because too many is you don't want anybody just to be overwhelmed by like, wait a minute, no, what does she look like? Because if you look slightly different in one photo from another, or you have one bad photo in the sea of them, then that's where they go, maybe that's what she looks like. You know what I mean? So you never want to give that wiggle room. Now the details you put, and I'm just going to read this. Looking for someone to share my life with, who's adventurous, funny, kind, honest, likes to travel, loves their family and friends, and is ready for the next chapter of their lives. I have an amazing life. I've been blessed with a beautiful daughter. I'm down to earth person who enjoys the simple things as finer things. I'm emotionally stable. I don't care for drama, find balance. Okay. You have a lot of stuff there, which is not bad, but I think that there's a way to kind of bring out more of who you are. And because this could be any woman saying it, right? I think we want to create a profile where it's going to be a little playful, a little sexy, but also maybe even really specific. This is also what I talk about in my book, where the more specific you make your profile, the more it's going to only call in the men that you resonate with. Because the more specific your profile is, the more it's going to attract the type of guys you want. I find that, you know, what's interesting, and I give the opposite advice to men. I think men need to almost shoot fish in a barrel. So men kind of need to target all women, you know, because men have a harder time getting responses. But when a woman who's very pretty, when your problem is that, how do you choose? Because all these guys are coming at you, then we need to start turning them off, so that it's an interesting technique, but it's people, because there is no filter on the dating apps. There's no filter really to like look out for you. So you have to look out for you. And the only way to do that is by making your profile very, very specific. If you want it, put it down. Like, don't sound like everybody else, because if you do, then you're just going to be attracting everybody. And now you have this problem of how do I weed through and know who's who and what's what, right?
Okay.
Right. So after this,
Mhm.
let me get my wheels turning. I might come back to you privately and ask you some more questions to really drill down harder and further, to just really be more specific about really what kind of guy you really want. You know what I mean? Because if you're generic about it and you're too loosey goosey and, open-minded's great, Tanya, but on the dating apps, it's the wild, wild west. And if you are not super specific, it's just like, you're just going to be lost and exhausted constantly.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Exactly. So, okay. So I have some work to do. I'm going to dig in. And then I'm gonna really make a specific profile that's going to try to attract the type of men you want.
Okay.
And then we're going to come back in a week or so, and we're going to look at the profile and
I'm excited.
see how it's treating you. Tanya, we're back. Wake up. Hey, so okay, because I don't want to wait another minute. Let's do the big profile reveal here. It's not like I radically changed your profile, but a lot of times people just need subtle changes here and there, Now, the one thing I will say that I did notice is that what I should have done a step further is before I gave you the profile, and here it is. The first picture I chose because I love it, because you're in Hawaii, you're looking straight to camera. It's beautiful. The only other step I should have taken, and I would advise, is lightening it up. I think you heard me talk about that. And so, and I can do it or you can do it, but what I do, it's an easy fix. I just screenshot it, put it into my photo app, and then just lighten it there and then just re-upload it. I think it could be lightened a little bit. So we're going to talk about your photos first all the way through, and then we're going to go back and talk about your info. Okay. So first photo, gorgeous, looks like you. That's the goal here. We want you to show up. Now, what I noticed on your other profile is that you weren't really showing your body much.
Yes.
I mean, in your mind, maybe you were, but in my mind looks at things like a guy would, because that's how I've just had to be. I've trained, my guys have trained me that way from looking at all these profiles all these years for them. Guys want to see a little, so that's why I picked your second one, which is a little revealing, but not revealing. It is classy, sexy, and perfect for where you are at this award show. So it's not like, hi, I'm wearing this low-cut dress in my house or something. It's totally appropriate and it fits and it's perfect. And then this next one I threw in there because it's not like the first one, and it's not like the second one at all in a sexy dress. It almost looks like, now I know what's going on here, but I think at a glance, a guy would think that you're riding dirt bikes or something. Now I know what's happening. What you're really doing is you're on set and you're in the dirt somewhere and you're wearing your mask and you're on set. But I liked it because to a guy, he's going to say, oh, that girl's cool. She gets down in the dirt, which I think you could.
I have.
Absolutely. Absolutely. See? Okay, great. Because I didn't want to just paint you as this just pretty girl, right? I wanted to add a level of diversity, and even if it's just simple as that, And then, of course, wanted to follow up with another body shot, because this is what's on the mind of guys. When women post photos and it's just here all the time, in a guy's mind, he goes, what's she hiding? What's she hiding? That's what they're thinking.
Right.
And the same thing when you go out on a date, it's like, and I talk about this in my book, but if you're wearing layers, even if I'm interviewing a woman for the database and she shows up and she's wearing flowy dress or a coat, and I'm just like, crap. I mean, I got to see what's going on with the body. And the guys are sitting there wondering the whole time while you're on a date, if the girl just is not wearing, or a woman's not wearing anything that can show your body. So if it's cold, take your coat off, give them a little peek, go to the bathroom, come back, say, oh, it's cold, I'm putting my coat back on. And then they got a little peek. See what I'm saying? Those are my tricks and tips. Okay. Now you did sneak in another photo on me, and I don't mind. And I know why you did, because you like that photo of you.
I like that photo.
I know. I'm fine with it. Because
Okay.
you have the others, and so they all match. It's not like, I don't think at any point any guy is going to say, wait a minute, she may look like this or she may look like that. No, they're all consistent. So I approve, even though you added that other one in. It's fine. As long as it's not taken away in any way, which it's not. So there you go.
Thank you.
Okay, now let's talk about how we changed your information to kind of bump it up, right? Because you said, and this is what I hear from women the most, is that they want to meet men who quality, who have something going on for themselves.
Yes.
So I put for you, I'm a successful, accomplished, proud single mom looking for the same in a man. By the way, is that guy in Santa Barbara? What is it? Well, tell me about him.
He's a doctor.
Oh, great. Does he have kids?
Yes, he does.
Okay, great.
They're all in college, so yeah.
Okay, good. And if you're a dad, that's a plus. So here we go. I enjoy going out or staying in and truly want someone who is active and in great shape. No couch potatoes. I'm not looking for a fixer upper, looking to enjoy an amazing life together. And I think a lot of times women are afraid to really put down what they want. They don't want to sound like a bitch. They don't want to sound like a snob or offend anyone in any way. But the thing is, the only way as a woman, because I give the opposite advice to men need to sort of shoot fish in a barrel in a way. I mean, if there's something very specific, like if somebody's super Christian, they need to put that down. Or if somebody has something that's very specific, then they have to put it down. But otherwise, men it's a numbers game for guys because they don't get a lot of women that are going to be receptive. So they need to try, you see what I'm saying? But for women, especially if you're pretty, you got so many coming at you, you have to be able to filter. The only way you're going to be filtering is by putting this stuff in your profile. And hopefully if he reads it, if he doesn't read it, he's not a guy that's serious in the first place.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
Yes.
Okay.
A lot of guys like the fixer upper part.
Oh, they do? What have you heard, by the way?
They're like, they would respond and say, I'm definitely not a fixer upper or whatever. They do respond to that. So
good. Because you know what? I know for a fact men are dealing with the same thing. There's a lot of women who are fixer uppers and they don't want to do that with women as well. So this is how you're going to attract the right guys at your level. All right. And then I always say, fill in all the details on your basic info, which we did for you. And then you put what you're into. What makes a relationship great is communication, chemistry, transparency, commitment, honesty, and laughing, independent, yet better together. Yep. Love it. Now, did you put that or did I?
I think I did.
I think you did too, because that doesn't sound like me, but I love it because it's you know what I mean? And let's see, perfect first date, leaving it and wanting another. We'll get along if you treat others the way you like to be treated. I'm sure for you, and I know a lot of women talk about this, what's really important for them is they observe a guy and how he treats like the wait staff at a restaurant or the people who are working for him and that kind of thing.
Yes.
So, yeah. So guys, just be aware, manners, A to Z, you can't just, be the great, amazing guy to your date. You have to do it when nobody's looking as well because she's still looking, okay? So what has been happening? Because with you, everybody is a little different, right? I take everybody as an individual. And, with Mike, I gave him like a full-on makeover, haircut, wardrobe, the whole thing. With you, I decided for us to test out some strategies from my new book, The Great Manhunt. Mm-hmm. And I asked you to put those into play to see. Yeah. So, because, here, what's interesting and fun about your profile is that on the surface, it looks like, like a lot of ladies like, oh, she's so beautiful. Like, what would she need to do? But I think, like you said, you struggled, for lack of a better word, with trying to connect with the quality guys.
Yes.
Right. The ones that are willing to put in the effort.
Yeah. So I was on Bumble and I did my profile the way you told me to.
Yeah.
And I like it. I like the fact that you told me to be more direct and not so vanilla-ish,
right.
I guess.
Right.
And I really, really liked it.
I didn't use that word, but that's a good word to use.
I also then went on Hinge. You told me that you recommended that one, or you said that was a good site.
Yeah. And
I did. And I actually think that Hinge is
better.
Really, really good. It's better. Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting. So, yeah, I can see that too. the guys seem to have a bit more depth, and maybe seem to be a little more quality. I mean, nothing, not to disparage anybody that's on Bumble, because you guys know I talk about Bumble all the time. I'm an equal opportunity dating app person. It's like whatever's going to get you across the finish line. But I do have to ask, so are you using the same profile that I created for you for Bumble on Hinge? Okay, great.
Yes.
Great. But now the difference, to catch everybody, for those that don't know, so on Bumble, the angle is that women have the power, because guys cannot message you or be in contact until you've sort of cracked the door open for them.
Yes.
But then I talk about in my book, and I don't know if you were taking it this far, where you don't write to them and you wait for them to extend the time.
I actually haven't. I mean, I was on Bumble a little bit, but then I kind of moved over to
Hinge. Okay, so let's talk about that, because there is a way to incorporate it on Hinge as well. But you did say things are going well on Hinge, so tell us what's happening, sister.
So I was taking your advice, like just swiping and not thinking,
right?
Which helps. It's hard for me not to analyze and overanalyze.
No, right. It's true. But now on Hinge, you don't swipe, do you? Well, it's kind of tap.
But you have to kind of like their picture. You have to like, something like that. Yeah.
So how flirty are you getting? Because you do have to make some sort of, well, they can make the gesture too. So let me ask you, are you waiting then? Because on Hinge, you can simply do nothing and wait for those to show up who are interested in you.
Yes, you can.
But you're not doing that.
I actually have been doing both, because if I'm busy and can't look, then all of a sudden I have, a bunch of guys in there. I'm like, oh, okay. And then I kind of weed through them.
And so you were telling me that, didn't you had a date? Tell us about your dating life. What's happening? Come on.
Well, I've been talking to some men, and the quality is great.
You had a date.
I had a date, and we went out once last weekend, and we're going out again tonight.
Oh my gosh. Well, that part I didn't know. All right, Miss Tania. So I'm feeling good about this. It sounds like you're on a good streak, because I know that when we first started doing this,
right,
you were struggling like, oh, I'm not really meeting quality guys. And now, this doctor sounds great, because here's the goal. You're trying to call in these guys. I'm trying to teach men to step up their effort, and women, because this is what women want. And I think so many men on the dating apps, they think they're showing up just like schlubby and making they don't realize that I say this again, I've said it before, I'll say it again, it's the Olympics of dating. You can't show up to the Olympics and expect to compete in your flip-flops and your old dirty t-shirt. You got to train for the Olympics. You got to show up ready, right? So for those guys that are struggling, they got to put in the effort. And if they put in the effort, which like this guy, oh my God, driving from Santa Barbara, for those of you who don't know, Santa Barbara to LA is 2 hours.
Yeah.
And then now I guess he must have been doing some work or something in Orange County.
Yes, he was.
And so now he's probably on his way home to Santa Barbara.
Yes.
Cool. Great. So, but this is a man who's not saying, yeah, come my way. And if a guy, by the way, I'm going to throw another tip in here for the guys. If you do want the woman to come your way, dudes, tell her you're going to get an Uber for her. Tell her you're going to get a Lyft for her. So if you're too lazy to get in your car and get to her, and you want her to show up at your doorstep or wherever, order her a Lyft, order her an Uber. It's a classy move.
Very classy.
There we go. So, okay, I can't wait to hear how it goes with this guy. Fingers crossed.
Let you know.
Let me know. And you've been a great sport, and I appreciate you going along for the ride with me.
Thank you so much for all your help.
Sure. I adore you, and I would love to see you end up with somebody amazing.
Fingers
crossed. Okay, thanks, Tania. I'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
It's another episode down of Dating App Do-Overs. Talk to you again soon. Like the page, subscribe. Okay, talk to you later. Bye, Tania.
Bye.
Well, that's it for today. You can always go to my website, GinaHendrix.com, to learn more about me. And if you are struggling on the dating apps like most people, and you want to see if I feel like I can help you, write to me at teamgina@ginahendrix.com. Who knows, you may be chosen to be on an episode of Dating App Do-Overs, and I'll do over your entire profile for free. Hope you enjoyed today's show. We'll see you next time on Dating App Do-Overs.